and welcome to Bournemouth for the final round of the 2016 P1 SuperStock Championship. Once again, this South Coast seaside holiday hotspot is going to be the backdrop for the grand finale on what's been another action-packed season. Bournemouth is a great location for P1 SuperStock and has offered up some epic battles in the past, with a racecourse that sees the boats fly past the end of the pier. An awesome sight for the spectators lucky enough to get close to the railings at the far end. So as far as the championship's concerned, it all comes down to this weekend. The Thames Network are leading Quantum Racing by 39 points, with Experience Kissimmee just another 5 points behind them. It's hard to say who to put your money on, but oh, what a journey it's been since that opening round back in Scarborough. The North East Coast whipped up a perfect storm of action and excitement for the opening races of the season. And after a weather-postponed schedule on the Saturday, there was still plenty of airtime on the Sunday.
Neil and Jason Jackson of Experience Kissimmee take a face full of spray.
Quantum Racing took the win with the Thames Network equal on points, but placed in second based on their racing finishing positions.
Look at this, super smooth from Sam Coleman.
The stunning Greenock Scotland was next, bathed in blue skies and scorching sunshine on the Saturday, which allowed for high-speed, flat-water drag racing, with the run to the start proving to be so important. Everyone pushed hard, sometimes too hard.
Oh, it's close and there's contact and the boat's gone over.
Sunday was a different day and the rain and cloud made it difficult work for all. The Thames Network held their nerve though.
They will take another checkered flag here in Scotland and the overall win.
From the far north to the far south and round 3 in Gosport, the Solent proved to be the perfect launch platform for the teams as the high winds made it less than plain sailing. Experienced Kissimmee by name and experienced racers by nature. Top step of the podium for them, but closely followed in second by the Thames Network, keeping the overall point standing tight at the top. Cardiff, Wales for round 4 and a Bayside bank holiday points bonanza from a multiple heats format in front of a packed crowd. Qualifying on the Sunday showed who was on form, and it was Quantum Racing who clocked the fastest time and opened the scoring with 20 points. And so the heats began, with all the teams getting a taste of close quarters racing. By the time the Grand Prix final came, it was clear it was going to be Thames and Quantum shooting it out in the tight confines of the bay.
Quantum can't shake off the Thames Network, who refuse to let go.
Excellent driving from Sam Coleman and John Donnelly made for an awesome final race, with John just edging the win and the overall points victory for Quantum.
Checkered flag is ready and greets Quantum Racing as the winners of the P1 Welsh Grand Prix of the Sea. Kevin Burdock overjoyed. That's what it means to win in the P1 SuperStock Championship.
I mean, it's probably one of the greatest races I've ever had the pleasure of being in, and usually you get a battle for 2 laps, but for 7 intense laps, it was just unreal.
That was as hard as I think I've ever pushed the boat. Perhaps the championship was in the back of my mind at the time. I wanted to win in Cardiff, which would have been great, but we were pumped with being second at the home race. It was a kind of an event where we wanted to go in and be damage limitation, still come out with a points lead. To come out and extend it was ridiculous. We really didn't think it was going to happen. So.
Well, what a season it's been. And as we look at the teams that are in the hunt for the championship, there's plenty of experience from the individual team members. But in the case of Quantum and Thames, it's their first season sitting side by side as driver and navigator. And in the case of Experience Kissimmee, it's their first full season in a P1 Panther. So did any of them really think they'd be topping the tables with just one weekend to go? So Neil, here we are, final weekend of the season, and it's your first season in a Panther, but you're actually in the hunt for the championship. I mean, could you have imagined that?
No, not at all. Considering that we'd never sat in a Panther until we went to the start line at Scarborough, literally the deal there was, right, OK, let's see what we can do, let's see what we can achieve, long season to go.
Our target was podium. We said if we can get to third on the podium, we've done well. We didn't know the boat, we didn't know the engines, you know, it's all new to us. We were used to racing faster, lighter boats. It was a learning curve, and we appear to have learned fast.
John, great to see you here. If you cast your mind back to the start of the season, I mean, could you have imagined that at this point in time, you'd be in the hunt for the championship?
Yeah, in all fairness, yeah, we came here to win this. I would have liked to have been a little bit higher up, in all fairness. But we're not going down without a fight. You know, despite the weather, we're still going to push it hard this weekend. And, you know, if Pertemps want it, they're going to have to fight for it. So.
This weekend is make or break, really, so we're going to be going for it. We've got nothing to lose. It's the last race. I love Bournemouth. No, I'm really, really happy. Really happy.
We're still cautious, we're not counting our chickens yet, because we've got a 39-point lead in an 80-point weekend. We've almost got 2 races in hand, but if we had a breakdown on the way out to the first race, that's Saturday gone and we're back to all square. So we know there's still a lot of work we've got to do. We've got to make the boat finish the weekend.
You could win it this weekend.
We could, yeah, but I mean, it's Solent at the end of the day, Kev, so it's still got a lot to work for. There's a lot of points at stake, so we'll see.
You had a good weekend in Cardiff, but obviously here at Bournemouth it's a different deal, and as a navigator your job is quite different this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be 11 boats heading to that first pin. We're in Cardiff, we're obviously running in heat, so it's going to be hairy, and I'm back to the normal day job, shall we say.
Have you actually done any maths on race by race, what points you would absolutely need, when to do it?
We're just going to keep it simple and just try and win everything, to be honest. The fact is, yeah, we could play it safe. We could go for second, but in all fairness, you know, that's not the way I roll. Normally, it's, you know, we're going to fight to the finish.
If yourself and John did win it, what would it mean to you?
Everything, everything. It'd be the world to me, because last year I'd never even been in a boat in my life.
So Rob, here we are, final one of the season once again. We've got probably 3 or 4 teams in the hunt for the championship. How can we explain it?
I think it's been an amazing season so far. Lots of different challenges have come the way of the teams, and we're obviously just hot off the back of a fantastic weekend in Wales, and a different type of racing now again for the teams here in Bournemouth, and everything to play for. Fantastic to have a couple of teams in the hunt, and the championship, as always, seemingly decided at the last round of the championship.
So it's a good place, P1 at the moment, and we've got a lot to look forward to for next year, and obviously, hopefully, fingers crossed, a rib series as well.
Absolutely. P1 continues to expand and develop both in terms of the championships that we're running. Obviously, our P1 Aquacross Jet Ski Series growing from strength to strength, and a huge event in Chicago in a week's time, which will really set a new benchmark in terms of PWC racing. A great year for SuperStock, both in the UK and in the US. So lots of interesting things on the horizon as well, from a geographic expansion, with the potential of racing in India, and you know, some great prospects in the months ahead.
Well, it isn't just the P1 SuperStock title that's up for grabs this weekend. The Aquacross Championship is also reaching its finale, and the action in that will be just as fast and furious, and there's multiple champions to be crowned across the different classes. So Dunk, you were leading the 200 class coming into this weekend, and you've extended that lead yesterday.
Yeah, it was good. I needed to get a few more points ahead of Paul. He's racing really hard. At Cardiff, I knew with flat water at Cardiff, I wasn't going to come anywhere on the 1.1 against the 1.8. So it was really good. I got another couple of points against him yesterday. It was choppy. I really enjoyed it. It was rough, and it was really enjoyable conditions. Just blasted around the course.
So Cardiff, Phil, good win for you there in the Bay. Fast racing on that tight course.
Yeah, we sort of knew it was going to be hard to beat there with the Yamahas because it's always flat there, and we've got definitely the top speed advantage, so sort of expected.
The man that was pushing you has been the man that's been pushing you all season, really, Joe Harvey. Didn't quite do it.
No, he's come good this season. He's given me a bit of hard work to do, and he's fast, and just unfortunately he was on the wrong ski. I think I just had that little advantage with the top speed. So.
Thinking about Bournemouth then this weekend, and it's a completely different ball game. We turned up the first race, it was rough, it was raining, it was choppy, and conditions that a man like yourself would relish, but Joe just did it yesterday. What happened?
I wasn't feeling my best yesterday. I didn't push as hard as what I could have, but hats off to Joe, he rode good, he kept me at bay and kept me behind him.
Well, Phil Pope was certainly fighting fit on Sunday as he went on to secure the 300 Aquacross crown. Richard Rowe took 250 honours, with Duncan Johnston claiming the 200 title.
Join us after the break when we'll be going racing. Welcome back to Bournemouth, where we are only moments away from our opening 2 races of the weekend, and that should start to give us an idea of who's on form and indeed who's looking at that all-important championship title. But as you can see over my shoulder here from up on the pier, the weather is starting to come in, it's raining, it's blowing, and the surf is rolling. So it will suit those teams that can read the waves and make the best of them to get that boat trimmed and going as best as it can. But it will not be a flat out-and-out speed race. This one's going to be rough. It's blown up a bit of a breeze down here in the marina, and once we get out there, those rollers are going to be coming in.
They will be, and Bournemouth changes by the hour, and we're going to be racing against the tide this afternoon. We've already looked at this. Chances are metre and a half swell. It's the stuff we like, so it's our water. Watch us fly.
It's going to be a rough one. The wind is howling and the clouds are getting a bit grey, but I mean, you're an experienced racer, you're probably looking forward to this, aren't you?
Yeah, typical Bournemouth really at this time of the year. Whenever we come here and race, and it's just like this. So yeah, looking forward to it.
This is a weekend where anything can happen.
It could, Pertams could go out, and in the first race they could have a major breakage, structural problem, and they'll be out for the rest of the weekend, and then it's anybody's game. I think we're going to have a good battle with E-Marine for 4th place. If something happened to Kissimmee, I think we'd be in with a shout, so never say don't push it, because we'd be so disappointed if we just held back and something happened to them. But in reality, this is about attrition of other boats.
Dino, good to see you here. Final one of the season in Bournemouth, but sadly we missed you in Cardiff. Tell us what happened.
We were all set for Cardiff. We had the boat running really well. We'd tested it up in Largs on the choppy seas up there, and the scrutineer discovered some damage on the transom, and they wouldn't allow us to race.
So the work that needed to be done has been done, and hopefully you're going to have plain sailing this weekend in Bournemouth.
It's all been done. We could do a wee bit more bits and pieces on the engine, but we're short of parts, unfortunately, so we've got to just do what we can and try and keep it in one piece for tomorrow.
If I cast my mind back to Gosport, you guys were really charging in the rough conditions there, and there's every chance it's going to be rough here this weekend, so we're probably going to see big things from you.
Absolutely. Dino and I have got the right weight balance for that, and hopefully keep the boat in the water, and yeah, so the rough stuff suits us best.
It's going to be sort of big seas and a bit of wind and a bit of chop and who knows what else.
Yeah, I mean the boat's been, we've reset the boat up. We're very, very short turnaround for this one, unfortunately. But fortunately, Cardiff was flat, so there's no breakages or anything to repair. So everything's good for this race. The boat's set up for it. So hopefully we can maintain and dominate again.
I have done the maths. I tend not to chew over that too much. Foot down, hold on tight, and hope the boat stays together.
Well, that's what the teams are thinking this morning, but it is now time for the talking to stop and the racing to start. But I can say from here at the end of the pier where the boats are going to be zipping by, it is getting particularly blustery. That wind is blowing onshore hard and the rollers are coming in. Don't think I'd fancy it, but let's go take a look at the start and indeed the course that they'll be taking on with your race commentator, Dave Moore.
The course here at Bournemouth is held close to the shore with tight twists and turns, meaning it's an exciting opportunity for fans to see these powerful boats in action. Each team has to factor in the long pit lap at some point during the race. The timing of that can be crucial, perhaps the difference between winning and losing. We await the first green flag of the weekend. There it is, it's go, go, go from Andy Cousins to Dave Taft. It's hammer time, but put the hammer down time. And easier said than done in these extremely challenging conditions. Each crew looking for clear water ahead, crucial in seas like this. Keeping the Panther as fun as possible, it will go quicker. And at race pace, each outfit is finding out whether they have the craft set up for this chop. Gaps already appearing as some boats are dealing with this better than others. Experienced Kissimmee, Neil and Jason Jackson, they're off to a belting start. Here they come toward the shoreline. And it looks like 3 boats have broken away from the rest of the pack. Experienced Kissimmee with Spirit of Inverclyde to their left and Arthur J. Gallagher to their right. Neil and Jason Jackson looking very graceful as they skim across the surface. There's a long way to go, but right now they're looking very, very good. It's not the best of starts for Quantum Racing in their quest for the title. They're alongside E-Marine, and it looks as if something's fallen from the back of their boat. We'd need to look at that again. Here they go past the pier for the first time. Experienced Kissimmee coming under pressure from Spirit of Inverclyde, who will hold the inside line into the next turn. Or will they? As Experienced Kissimmee turn in hard. That's close. Very close. Neil and Jason Jackson cutting across Gordon Wicklow and Dino Zavaroni. That was a bold move. Certainly shows they're not giving this up without a fight. Meanwhile, those 2 Panthers have opened up a gap on the rest of the field. In these conditions, no matter how hard you try to keep your boat in the water, everything comes out, engine and all. So let's recap. It's Experienced Kissimmee leading with Spirit of Inverclyde in second. Third is Arthur J. Gallagher with Rawbank Racing holding fourth. Spirit of Inverclyde could well have another go here. They were balked on their earlier attempt, but if they can push themselves further up the inside this time, then Experienced Kissimmee won't be able to turn as tight as they did before. Here they come, and they're going for it, and Experienced Kissimmee on their side. Oh, they're out of shape. Neil Jackson being lifted out of his seat. It's tight as we go on board with Spirit of Inverclyde. Now, where are Experienced Kissimmee? Will they still lead, or did they yield? There they are. Still in the lead, but only just as they head into the onshore wind. That was very, very close. We can look at that again as they make the turn, and Experienced Kissimmee turn very tightly. It looks like they're on their side. Both craft then look as if they get the wind under their noses as they get back on the power. You have to fancy Spirit of Inverclyde will have another go here. They're certainly confident, and this looks to be it. Gordon Wicklow and Dino Zavaroni powering their way past Experienced Kissimmee, who have no answer and drop back to second. It's been on the cards, and it's finally happened. So a change at the top of the race leaderboard. Dino Zavaroni and Gordon Wicklow will enjoy the sight of clear water ahead of them now, and they are revelling in these conditions. They missed out on the last round at Cardiff, but they are making their presence felt at Bournemouth. Riding with Kevin Hunt and Carl Turner of Typhoon. And they may not look it from the camera, but these are extremely challenging conditions. This is Title Challengers Quantum Racing, and this is not the sort of impact they had in mind today, coming down hard on the surface. On board with Rawbank Racing, that's Stuart and Sarah Curitan. And they, like the others, are getting a thorough workout in their P1 Panthers. Rawbank have Quantum Racing not far behind them. Both crews in with a shout of the title, with John Donnelly and Kevin Burdock perhaps trailing right now, but with more points already on the board. They need to get ahead of the crews in front of them in their bid to win the championship and push Patemps Network out of the #1 spot. And talking of the series leaders, here they are, Sam and Daisy Coleman. Their motto is the rougher the better, but with so much at stake, they look to be taking it a bit easy. Spirit of Inverclyde thoroughly enjoying themselves, and having gone so well at the halfway point of the campaign at Gosport, we shouldn't be surprised. Oh, an arm up from Rawbank Racing, so they could be coming to a halt. You have to wonder if Stuart Cureton is feeling the conditions. He was injured in Scotland and only came back to action a week ago. They're on their way again, however. They've just been passed by Quantum. It will be a first win of the season for Spirit of Inverclyde. It's delight for Dino Zavaroni and Gordon Wicklow as they take the checkered flag. The Thames Network with a late charge to finish in third place behind experienced Kissimmee. Spirit of Inverclyde, though, coming out on top. Unfortunately, heavy rain and poor visibility would force an early end to racing on the opening day of the P1 Bournemouth Grand Prix of the Sea.
It's atrocious weather, so we've unfortunately will cancel. We'll cross our fingers and everything else, ready for tomorrow, and hope we can get a better day.
So it was Spirit of Inverclyde who made the most of the worsening conditions in the only Superstock race to be completed.
Well, Dino, we didn't get 2 races in, but the one that we did get in, well, that went brilliantly for you.
Fantastic, absolutely awesome. Just our conditions went well. 2 big fat guys in the front kept the boat in the water most of the time, but it was good. Boat held up well. A couple of bits of damage that we need to fix tonight, but apart from that, everything went really good.
Unfortunately, the kill cord magically got pulled, so we come to a grinding halt. Luckily, we got it restarted, but we'd lost half a lap by then. Fortunately we'd lost the comm, so I couldn't hear Kevin screaming. So we put the pedal to the metal and just caught up a few places and hopefully sort of minimised the damage, really.
Well, what an end to the day here in Bournemouth. We were supposed to have 2 almost back-to-back races, and because of the weather and the conditions out there, we managed just the one. But excitingly, as far as the championship's concerned, the 3 main players all finished and all scored points. So that fight is still on. Join us for day 2 then from Bournemouth when we come back. See ya. Welcome back to Bournemouth for day 2 as the P1 SuperStock season reaches its grand finale. Now, you may have noticed that I've been without my co-presenter Shelley Jory-Lee this weekend, and if you're wondering where she is, well, the answer is somewhere out there, but she's headed this way fast, behind the wheel of Blastoff, a 38-foot, 2,000 horsepower monster, which she's racing as part of the famous Cows Torquay Cows endurance offshore powerboat race that's happening this weekend. So we all wish her well, and we'll be certainly keeping an eye on the results for that one. Back to the action here though, and as we wait for the next P1 Superstock race, the fans are being entertained out on the water by European Hydroflight champion Sonny Bean.
Flyboarding is a jet-propelled or water-propelled board based on a jet ski. So the way it works is you take the steering off the jet ski itself and put an adapter plate on, then connect a U-bend, then a 24-metre hose, which then attaches to this here, which then sends the water up through the hose and out through the 2 jets on the side of the board, which then can propel you high in the sky.
Amazing stuff from Sonny there, and we certainly wish him all the best as he moves his way up to those all-important world rankings. Back to P1 Superstock though, and the championship deciders are still all to play for. And today, well, it's a very different day to yesterday. Morning lads, so lost Cowling yesterday, but you've got a replacement today, or a different one?
Yeah, we've borrowed Pickford's, which was very kindly. They've pulled out for the rest of the day, so they've kindly loaned us theirs. So that's on. We've repaired the ECU, and fingers crossed we'll be able to complete the 2 races, which we desperately need to do to get the point.
Kev, morning, good to see you. You're wringing out the kit this morning, everything's soaked.
It's absolutely saturated, yeah. We got absolutely dumped on with the rain yesterday. I couldn't even dry out race suit. Luckily I've got a second suit, but my shoes and gloves and everything else, including the boat, full of water.
It's going to be a bit lumpy out there maybe, but this is going to suit yourselves.
We hope so. Reliability will be the thing that we need. Electromechanical, we've got no idea what the old girl is going to give us. You know, but if we get the reliability, I'm going to drive my nuts off, and which is all I can do.
The day's pretty rough going for you out there yesterday, but you held up in third place and got some valuable points.
Yeah, absolutely. We're pleased with our performance. We wanted to just nurse a boat home, to be honest, Kevin. Sam actually thought it was rougher out there this year than it was last year, but I don't actually think it is. It's just the fact there's a lot more at stake because we're obviously leading the championship. There's a lot of pressure on us. So yeah, it wasn't pleasant, shall we say.
So this is it then, the first of 2 races today that will decide the 2016 season. Looks like most of the teams have done their maths to get their positions, and of course all eyes will be on the front of the pack. Will it be Pertemps, Quantum or Kissimmee in this one, or indeed somebody else? Let's head out to the start line with your race commentator Dave Moore.
Once again, big crowds at Bournemouth to witness the spectacle that is P1 SuperStock powerboat racing. The crew's taking up position, eyes firmly fixed on the yellow flag, and when that is dropped and the green one is raised, then we'll be away. And away we go, it's on with the power, and the penultimate race of this campaign is underway. As we edge ever closer to determining this year's champions, Typhoo looks slow out of the traps. On board with series leaders Sam and Daisy Coleman. And watch how much movement there is in the wheel as they try to keep the boat straight. Conditions a big improvement on yesterday. They're still challenging, and nothing but 100% focus will do. Temps Network in the middle of the pack with a super start, and just ahead of Quantum Racing, their main title challengers. South Street also looking very smooth. Not much vertical movement in their nose as they push hard alongside Temps Network and Quantum. On board with Spirit of Inverclyde, yesterday's race winners, but their work cut out in the early stages of this one. They're tucked in just behind Quantum, but on the outside of the pack, it's Temps Network with their nose in front, but only just as they begin to hug the coastline. Experienced Kissimmee looking to push by Spirit of Inverclyde. And this is they. Neil and Jason Jackson, a second place finish yesterday, so they too are full of confidence. We're back with Spirit of Inverclyde, who appear to have become stronger with every P1 race. They're challenging for third right now. The Temps Network lead with Quantum second, and it looks like South Street in third, but angles can be deceptive. The Temps Network, though, exactly where they want to be, not where Quantum Racing want them to be. Kevin Burdock and John Donnelly know they have to get past the race leaders. They're coming up to the pier before they turn and head away from the beach. Spirit of Inverclyde could get there ahead of South Street. Meanwhile, Quantum Racing are crossing the wake of Temps Network again as they look to find a way past the leaders. They are crossing again from right to left this time, trying to make Temps Network unsure of where they are on the water. Further back, and experienced Kissimmee pushing ahead of South Street, who we ride with. Typhoo at the back of this trio as they pass the pier. Temps Network and Quantum Racing swinging into the buoy from a wide entry, but Spirit of Inverclyde choose to go tight. They could lose a little bit of momentum. They are still very much in the hunt, though, as they hit the next buoy. The Temps Network with a suggestion of a gap opening up over Quantum Racing. Spirit of Inverclyde third, with experienced Kissimmee fourth and South Street fifth. Then it's E-Marine Racing, Visit Wales are there as well. And Arthur J. Gallagher. Typhoo, though, have an issue. They look animated in the boat, which is on its way again. So Kevin Hunt and Cole Turner back in the race. Will they be able to make the distance? They look fine now. This is the rookie crew in Visit Wales, Andy Foster and Charles Morris. A very different experience for them compared to the last round in Cardiff. Let's have another look at the start. It's visors up for Gordon Wicklow and Dino Zavaroni as they get on the power. As I mentioned earlier, they're really coming to the fore in this championship now as their P1 Panther experience broadens. conditions much better than they were 24 hours ago, and it's a great day for a powerboat championship to be decided. Back with Gordon Wicklow and Dino Zavaroni in Spirit of Inverclyde, and 100% focus in both sets of eyes. The experienced Kissimmee still in with a shout of snatching the title today, but trailing their rivals means those hopes are very, very slim right now. Pitching a ride with Glenn and Lee Norval of E-Marine Racing. They're currently trying to battle for 5th place. The Thames Network looking to win the championship in style by winning races and not having to use a calculator to work out their points. They lead the series, and they know if they win, then no one can stop them from becoming champions. Further back down the order, this is Dave Tuft and Andy Cousins in Arthur J. Gallagher. There are still pit laps to factor in, which could change the complexion of this race. On board with Spirit of Inverclyde. Dino Zavaroni and Gordon Wicklow going for their pit lap. No misunderstanding in that boat. E-Marine Racing lost their engine cowling in yesterday's race, so far so good for them in this one. Well, the Craft in second and third have both decided to take their pit lap at the same time. It can be a bit of a gamble as to when to take it, but if you time it right, then it can work in your favour. With the Thames Network setting the pace out front and seemingly uncatchable at the moment, then this could be the best chance these two crews have of making up some ground. Whether it pays off remains to be seen. Every outfit has to get a pit lap in once during each race. Quantum Racing going past Arthur J. Gallagher, who they are lapping. So Kevin Burdock and John Donnelly still very much in this one. Spirit of Inverclyde still chasing Quantum, and that's South Street just behind and really keeping their Panther on its side as they negotiate the turn. Gordon Wicklow keeping an eye on their rivals. And a perfect example as to how there are different lines into each buoy. This is a replay of the same moment as seen from South Street. They cut across the wake, having stayed tight from the first buoy. The Thames Network had a plan, and that was to get out in front and dictate the pace of this race, and it's worked perfectly. They are edging ever closer to the P1 SuperStock Championship title. It's been a valiant effort from Quantum Racing, but the gap between themselves and the race leaders looks just too big to bridge at this stage in proceedings. Experienced Kissimmee look to have some sort of an issue. That could be their race run. And indeed, they are looking as if they're going to retire. What a shame. They were going so well. Sam and Daisy Coleman on their way to yet another checkered flag. And there it is, a win for the Thames Network, who now have one hand on the championship trophy. They are one race away from taking the P1 SuperStock crown. Their hard work is paying off. Quantum Racing finished second, with Spirit of Inverclyde putting in another strong performance to claim third, but this race belonged to the Thames Network.
Well, a dominant drive from Sam Coleman there with Daisy, his navigator, getting that boat trimmed nicely. 20 points added to their tally then in that all-important championship title fight. Join us after the break for the final one of the season here in Bournemouth. Welcome back to Bournemouth, where the crowds have stayed down here on the beachfront to catch the last of the action for 2016. But with one more P1 SuperStock race to go, barring any slip-ups, Sam and Daisy Coleman and Potemps Network do indeed have that championship title all but sewn up. Let's see what they can do then, and the rest of them, as we head on out to the start line with your race commentator, Dave Moore.
The P1 Panthers have competed the length and breadth of Britain in England, Scotland and Wales, on seas, channels, rivers and harbours, and it's all been for this, the final race of the campaign. Away we go for the final time. Potemps Network nearest the camera with a cracking start as they look to end the season with a race win plus the title. Sam and Daisy Coleman, the brother and sister team, having to concentrate even though they are close to becoming the new champions. No chickens being counted just yet. Spirit of Inverclyde just to their right, and title rivals Quantum Racing, the only other crew that can still win the title, in third. Dino Zavaroni and Gordon Wicklow in Spirit of Inverclyde, who have been one of the stronger performers this weekend. Potemps Network leading, but Quantum Racing making all sorts of shapes in third, bouncing around as they try to keep themselves ahead. They know they have to win this race, and they are pushing. They look to have calmed down now. A bouncing Panther is not the way to win races, and they look to be pulling away from both Spirit of Inverclyde and South Street. Spirit of Inverclyde appear to be going tight and up the inside of Potemps Network, who move out wide, and Quantum may just nip to their left. Potemps Network will be delighted with their start. They won't be celebrating anything just yet. They've got Quantum right where they want them. And again, John Donnelly and Kevin Burdock hiding in the Coleman's wake. Well, certainly trying to. But they've not only got the race leaders to worry about, but also Spirit of Inverclyde, who are a boat's length behind. Plenty to keep the Navigator occupied as they try to catch the race leader and defend their own position at the same time. No matter what happens, it's been a great debut season for Spirit of Inverclyde, with more highs than lows. Ian Brusby of South Street is back in the P1 SuperStock Championship after taking a break from the series, and he looks to be racing better than ever. He and Andy Yeo have seemingly become stronger, and they hold fourth place at the moment. These two boy turns are tricky. Places can be lost if the crews mess them up, but Sam and Daisy Coleman looking inch perfect. Spirit of Inverclyde, meanwhile, looking to sneak past Quantum. Further back, it's Rawbank from E-Marine. Then Visit Wales in their little battle for fifth place. Arthur J. Gallagher just losing ground on that trio, it seemed, but still a long way to go, plus pit laps, of course. And on board with Visit Wales, that's Andy Foster and Charles Morris. They're in the middle of the field. The big thumbs up shows how much they're enjoying themselves. The Norval brothers of E-Marine Racing have had their moments too in this season. Glyn made his P1 debut this year, although Lee competed in the series last year alongside Dave Taft. Spirit of Inverclyde still electing to keep it tight and refusing to let go of Quantum Racing. Both crews cannot match the pace of the race leaders though. And that is the champions-elect, Potemps Network. It really is out of the hands of Kevin Burdock and John Donnelly. Only a breakdown for the race leaders could give them the crown. However, that's unlikely to happen. Plus, they will be the first to say that's not how they would want to win the championship. They power past the pier. Everyone's still battling hard. Even the duel for fifth place is close. Still in the hands of Rawbank, but they have E-Marine and Visit Wales right on their tail. They've come close in the past to repeating the last time Potemps Network won the title, which was back in 2012 in the hands of John Wilson. Daisy Coleman joined the following year, and they've ended each campaign since in the top three. This year, Sam Coleman has taken over the controls and on his way to what will be the end of a dream season for him and his sister. Some crews electing to take their pit lap, which is a longer lap. They all have to do one during the course of a race. Rawbank Racing have had a bit of an up and down campaign. The most experienced crew in the field is suffered a blow when Stuart Curitan was injured in Scotland, but he teamed up again with his wife Sarah last time out in Cardiff. However, they're slowing. In fact, that is that for the Curitans, and their campaign comes to a premature halt. On board with Glyn and Lee Norval, and they have Visit Wales to their left. There they are, and the two craft just closing up alongside one another. Two of the more inexperienced pairings on the water today, but thoroughly enjoying themselves, no doubt. Visit Wales just pushing ahead of E-Marine, so they'll be delighted if they can keep this up. That is the layout, with more crews at the top of the picture taking their pit lap. Having competed at Scarborough in the opening round, Arthur J. Gallagher didn't score any points until the last round at Cardiff. Rawbank on their way again, but not at full speed. Stuart Curitan recently returning from injury. We're on board with Arthur J. Gallagher. Dave Taft, who made his P1 debut back in 2014 and has been a regular in the Championship ever since, although he did miss the beginning of this campaign before returning at the Welsh Grand Prix of the Sea in Cardiff. Well, this is Andy Cousin's second P1 event. It seems nothing can stop Attempts Network. Quantum Racing still in second. They both scored the same points at the season opener in Scarborough. Attempts scored more at both Greenock and Gosport, but Quantum had the edge last time out in Cardiff. This one, though, is looking more and more like belonging to Attempts Network. They scored a third yesterday, and a win in race 2, and looking like they will make it 2 wins out of 3 for the weekend. Kevin Burdock won the Rookie of the Year award in 2015. It's been another good campaign, no matter what the outcome of this championship season. He and John Donnelly have had a very successful year together and have worked well. Clyde still in there, still not giving up, and looking to grab another win if they can. Quantum with a somewhat wide approach compared to that of Spirit of Inverclyde, who end up in their rival's way, can get tossed about for their efforts. Quantum Racing still in second place, and if things stay as they are, they will end the weekend third overall behind Spirit of Inverclyde. But it's not over yet, of course. Visit Wales are definitely enjoying their strongest performance of late in this, the final race of the P1 SuperStock season. The battle for second place still rages on between Quantum and Spirit of Inverclyde, but they are both some way back on the race leaders and what looks increasingly like the P1 SuperStock champions of 2016. Thumbs up from Daisy Coleman to acknowledge Arthur J. Gallagher for keeping out of their way as they were being lapped. There'll be some fists pumping in the air soon from Attempts Network as they take the checkered flag, and if you're going to win a championship, then win it in style. Sam and Daisy Coleman are P1 champions, and that's what it means. The real celebrations will begin when they're on dry land, but what a season they have had. The final race of the year ends like this, with South Street 4th behind Spirit of Inverclyde, who couldn't take second from Quantum, with Attempts Network on top. And this is how it ends, with Experience Kissimmee hanging on to third, with Quantum Racing in second, and Attempts Network, this year's P1 champions.
So Sam and Daisy, not only has it been a fantastic weekend for you, it's been a fantastic season for you. Took the weekend and took the championship.
Yeah, what a way to finish it as well. Came down to what can be a rough Bournemouth and took it easy yesterday to make sure we put some points on the board, and then dominated today with 2 wins. It was fantastic.
And Daisy, you've had plenty of wins under your belt with John Wilson, and now you've continued with your brother.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had some shoes to fill, and he's certainly done that, Kevin. Over the moon, so proud of him. We've worked really hard for this, though. We've had a lot of training with Neil Holmes and obviously with John. And after the races, we've always decritted and looked at our onboard footage, seen what's going on, and just worked really hard for it, and it seems to have paid off. So.
And Sam as well, great weekend for you as well. Family here, sponsors here. Big party tonight?
Definitely a big party tonight. You coming, Kev?
Of course I am. See you there.
Brilliant. See you there.
So huge congratulations to Sam and Daisy of Pertemps Network, taking the win here in Bournemouth and clinching that overall 2016 championship title. Quantum Racing proved to be worthy adversaries throughout the season and bagged themselves second place in the overalls, and Experience Kissimmee, well, they ended up in third. It's been another fantastic season and a great way to end it down here on the beach in Bournemouth. Until 2017, from myself, Kev, and all of the team, see ya.